Hello class, I'd like to give you a tutorial where I show you how to create a basic website. Some of the things we're going to be looking at in this tutorial, some basic HTML, some basic CSS, and then also images. Some of the things that you need to work on to start generating your own website. So like the project that you'll be working on, I'm going to choose a hobby or a topic that interests me and build a website on it. So I'm going to do a site, new site. This is kind of a review of last week. I always like to start with new websites because I feel like you get a lot of books and demonstrations that build on previous weeks. That's okay, but I think it's also good to start from scratch so you can kind of see how things get built as different stages throughout the course. So let's go ahead and start this as a brand new site. This is the one we're going to work on for probably 2 weeks and add in links to it after this basic tutorial. So I like Corvettes, so I'm going to type in Corvette. And I actually already have a folder on the desktop, so I'm going to choose Browse to Folder. And if I go to Desktop, and there's my folder, it already has a picture right here. Okay, and I'm going to click Choose. Now, if you did not already have your folder, you can go ahead and generate a folder right here and choose your website. So don't forget that your website needs to have a folder, needs to be a folder, and that's what you designate for your local site folder, also may be called a root folder. Click Save. Okay, and then you may have your dialog screen up right here. If not, I always recommend just go to File, New. Okay, I'm going to choose HTML5 for my demonstrations, and I'm going to just choose HTML layout none and click Create. Okay, now let's add some basic formatting in here. So if I put a title in, let's just call it Drew's 1976 Corvette. Okay, and I got a title in there. So I got something going on now. You'll see a little asterisk right here. That means you need to save your file. You've made some changes to it, so I'll go ahead and click File, Save. So nothing's saved yet. Save, and then what I'll do is just type first page index, and it's going to be .html. Save. Okay, and now I've got my index file right here. Remember, if your screen doesn't look exactly like mine, you can go to Window, Workspace Layout, and Designer. Okay, now let's add in a few things here so you can kind of see how this works, and it's just going to be practice. So when you actually do this, it'll be probably a little bit more structured with your formatting and everything. This is just going to kind of throw some things together so you can see how it works. Okay, I'm going to go to Modify Page Properties. Okay, and I'm going to check out here text, background, background image, all of this stuff, page font. What you want to fool with here is probably on your first screen the appearance in CSS. Now you can kind of choose where you want your code to be written. You can write HTML or have Dreamweaver write HTML for your background colors, things like that, your links and everything. I would recommend choosing CSS for basic formatting. So let's do that. Let's choose a background color so that you can see something happening here. Okay, I'll just choose something that you can see. Okay, let me choose like a red or something. And then if you wanted to do text color so you could see it a little better, you could choose white here. This won't be a very nice color scheme here, it's just practice. Margins, those are okay to use. If you type in 0, that would mean that your content would be moved all the way to the left of the screen. I'm just going to leave that the way it is. Okay, and I'm going to leave everything else the way it is also. And I'm going to click Apply. And I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to go check out the code. Okay, and what you want to do is to get used to Dreamweaver and also maybe to refresh your memory on code, on CSS and some HTML. You want to go back to your code view often when you're new to Dreamweaver and see what's being written. So you'll see the doc type, HTML head, you'll see a little character set here, and then you'll see the title that I put in, and then you'll see a little bit of style. So that's just an inline style. It's in the HTML, and it has its own style tag. It's up in the head of your document. It doesn't take much. You can see there's the background color. This is a shortened version of a hexadecimal color. And if you want to change that color, you can simply go back to Modify Page Properties and then choose from your little color picker right here. This is the WebSafe color palette. I'm assuming with this being a Dreamweaver class that you know a little bit about hexadecimal colors. You don't have to use a WebSafe color palette anymore, although it's easiest to pick the colors from that palette. This is actually shortened version. You see this number sign 960 or anything you choose here. That's a shortened version of a 6-digit number that you'll typically see. For example, 00336699CCFF. Those colors are hexadecimal. It would be like CC99FF. That would be a traditional hexadecimal color from the WebSafe color palette, which was invented because monitors only displayed 256 colors for a while, so you had to have a color chart that was safe for all browsers, all monitors. But that's not the case anymore. You know, it's been a lot of years since you have to stick with that few colors on your website. Okay, and I change that around. You can see it automatically changes it, and I come back right here. Okay. And a little bit of code here that put in. This is the font color. So when you see the style type text right here, and then you'll see a few codes like the body and table data, table header, things like that. You'll see a color on here. And that's just basically changing the color of the font in CSS. Okay, let's add in a title, and then let's add in a little bit of CSS to format that so you can see how CSS works in Dreamweaver. Okay, so let's go ahead and type in Drew's 1976 Corvette. And I'm going to say an image is going to go right here. And then I'm going to say, see, this is the last year for the Stingray emblem. And then I would type out a whole paragraph or something there. So I'm going to have title, image, and then a little paragraph. So what we'll do is experiment with a little bit of CSS formatting right here on my main title here on the website. So first thing I want to do is go look in the CSS styles panel and see what's happened so far. So I'm going to go over to Window, CSS styles if I do not see this right here. Okay, if I close that right there, okay, that just closes it and I can open it. Now I see one rule. Okay, it says style, and if I expand it, this shows me what I've already put in so far. So that's a few tags for the font that applies to the body, and then this is another one for the background. Now if you need to drag this up and down a little bit, you can, so you can see the properties. Okay, this is another way for you to get back and edit the CSS. You can see it right here. So for example, I didn't like that color, I could change it right here and it automatically changes. Okay, so that's kind of an interesting way to do it. If you want to get rid of anything, you can too. So let's say I don't want all the font to be like that. I can click this and just trash it, and then the font goes back to your default Times New Roman, size 12, and black. So that's fine. We'll go ahead and leave it like that. Now let's say that you want to change this right here. You want to change the title to something bigger. If you go to your HTML, you'll see headings. You know, that's your traditional headings you can choose, but we want to do a little more than your H1, H2. We want to do a little bit with your CSS. Okay, so we'll go to CSS, and you can just change something here, and it's going to pop up your CSS panels. You can also use this button where you can see where my mouse is right here. You can do a new CSS rule, and we'll use that from time to time also. But let's say that you want to, take advantage of the ease of Dreamweaver, the way they've designed it, and we want that to be bigger, 24. Now when you change that to 24, this is again, I'm on my CSS panel. When you change that, it's going to pop up a new CSS rule. Now this is just basic stuff, so you don't have to think it's really getting complicated or anything. There's going to be a lot more to it than this. This is just really basic. What's going to happen when you format some text on here, but you want to use CSS instead of outdated, just standard HTML. Okay, now you've got 4 selections here from your CSS dropdown. You've got the class, ID, and then tag and compound. Now we'll kind of we'll use class for this first one. ID works well if you have a design and you want to do like a division tag and you want to change the way your layout looks. Tag is going to define one HTML element or multiple ones. For example, if you want all paragraphs, all p tags to look a certain way, and then compound, if you have multiple selections, you can do that.